Hey, Shalom Akim. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. All right, double honors to the apostles of GMS. Those are our teachers who taught us his truth. All right, I'm Yalak Mara'ah from the Shepherd of Berea Camp. Big ups to the camp head of the Shepherd of Berea Camp, Priest Taiwan Mayim, Priest Karak Kal Kahan, Priest Malakbar, Priest Rob Shapat, Priest Barzal Gabar, Priest Zayafanat, Priest Aquana Yun, fellow laborers. All right, and the name of this topic will be called Stress Kills. Stress kills. All right. And I'm going to start off with Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. So a merry heart doeth good. Let's read this in the NLT. All right. It says Proverbs 17 and 22. A cheerful heart is good medicine. So just as you take medicine, the herbs, right? Brothers is into the herbs. We get into this herbs because the truth speaks on the herbs, right? But a merry heart, that's the key, all right? Because it doeth good like medicine. This is why there's things that Esau know about called the placebo effect. Meaning that if you can take something and if you believe and feel good about it, it'll actually make you feel better. Think about that. If you feel good about taking something, it will make you feel better. Okay? Now, why is that? Because it's really your mind. All right. Now, is the herbs have an effect? Yes. But even more importantly than the herbs is how your mind is. And what affects your mind and your spirit is the word, the spirit, and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why the scriptures, I'll get it. It says that these scriptures, all right, a spirit, they quickeneth, right? I'm gonna get that, and I'll get two precepts real quick. Actually, let me get these two precepts before I forget. All right. So yeah, stress kills. These words will lift you up. St. John chapter 6, verse 63. It says, let me read this in the KJV. St. John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. So the herbs, it's cool, but not as heavy as the spirit. The spirit is what quickeneth. Now, what is the spirit? The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, they are life. So people are going through depression. You can go through a depression in this truth. You got to hear the words to lift you up. You get counsel, you hear words from another brother. All right, the people in the world. It don't matter how much money they got. It don't matter about the wisdom of the world that they have. These words, this is the key. Do they have a spirit in them? Yes. Okay. What cheers up the spirit? The words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's it. That's why niggas is not complete. That's why you see the story of Diddy. And that's why, you see this image right here of this sister right here. All right. All right. It says she had fame and even danced with Jennifer Lopez. But one trip to Italy ruined everything. Years later, she was homeless and addicted and completely alone. A beautiful sister, Northern Tribe sister, right? Who basically, you see her beauty and look at her now. But again, let's go back to the scripture, right? All right. It says what? It is the spirit that quickeneth. So you can chase the fast life. The compliments, the champagne, the fine dining and all of that. But then eventually, you're looking for validation from people of the world. So now you got to look sexier. You got to do drugs. You got to go out every night. You got to drink. You got to do these things. It says it is a spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. So fuck this. This flesh don't profit nothing at all. Now, yeah, you take care of yourself, of course, because that's according to the word. Your body is a temple of the Most High. So you doing that according to the word, right? Not by getting BBLs, females. You get into the word. Yeah, you exercise. You don't got to have the super tights on, but you get into the word. You put on the proper garments. You know what I mean? You put on, you have the anointings. You got to do this. There's ways to take care of thyself. All right. That's not according to the course of this world, because the way this world will do, it'll burn you out. Like it says, the flesh profiteth nothing. It says, the words that I speak unto you, they are life, they are spirit, and they are life. So ultimately, this will lift anybody's spirit up because everybody has a spirit. Only way to lift it up is with the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? Now, I'm gonna jump back. I got one more precept actually. This is in the Apocrypha. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 12. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster. All right, like I said, herbs is cool, right? The herbs is cool. We take the herbs. The herbs ain't a negative, right? But it says nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. So what's more important than the herbs? What's more important than taking care of the body than exercising is the word, the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, thy word. So stress kills. What can heal thy stress? And let's go into what the tax is, all right? But verse 13, for thou hast power of life and death. Thou leadest to the gates of hell and bringest up again. Okay? Now, let's take a look at this real quick, man. Let me type in notes. Okay, here we go. All right, let me go ahead and get this part out of it. This is I'm gonna get this. This is let me finish this. This is I just wanted to show this image right here. This is the effects of stress on your body, right? It says brain depression. It says the first attack that stress can affect is your brain, right? What does it say the first? But this is what it has on the top of the list. So your brain, all right? So you're not able to think clearly. Now you're going to have depression, right? It says anxiety. Now when you have when your mind ain't clear, all right. Let me get a precept actually. Let me get this precept real quick. All right. Let me get this real quick. Bear with me. All right. This is Proverbs 12 and 20. 12 and 20. Let's start from 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. Verse 5. Heaviness in the heart of a man maketh it stoop. So if it attacks your mind first, the mind, then now stress can attack your mind, right? Your brain, right? Your brain, right, will cause what? It'll make your mind a stoop. Now you're looking at everything from a low angle. You're not happy about what you're doing. You're not happy about your life. You're depressed. You're not happy about speaking. So now you don't want to be out. Now you don't want to talk to anybody. Now you feel like shit. Now you just, you know what I'm saying? You're going through a whole motherfucking low state of mind, you know? It says, heaviness in the heart of the man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. So what is the key to this thing is the word. So why you think Esau used these words, young thug, thugger, like why do you think these words, gunner, all of these names is a negative agitation. So it's a negative spell on you. So it make you automatically start thinking low of yourself. Bad bitch. A lot of these words that we start to wear, you know what I mean? And make it you attach yourself to that. You know what I mean? And then you don't feel good. You start to be low. You start to get grimier. You start, you know what I'm saying? You start to get lower and lower. But what lift you up is a good word. And what's the good word? We know the gospel. That's the word gospel means the good word, the good news. Okay? And what is it? The good news? The good news is that Yahweh Shah, he shed his blood, and now we are brought back closer to the Most High. Now we're able to become, righteous again. We're able to take that walk, through the blood of Yahweh Shah. We're able to transform for what these words that they put on us, nigga. What I'm saying? The hood. You know what I mean? Just being a thug, being a gangster. Like these are the things that we was given, to put on us to make us be low. Right? It says, yes, heaviness in the heart of the man maketh it stoop. So heaviness, so your heart, your heaviness can make you stoop down. So look how much you talking about lifting weight, right? You talking about hitting the gym and lifting weight. Nigga, do you hear that? Do you hear that the heaviness in your heart can make you stoop down? So I seen images of motherfuckers lifting. Motherfucking when they be doing them deadlift squats or them squats where they ain't got the barbell, 500 pounds, 600 pounds. But a motherfucker who could do that, but the heaviness of the heart is heavier than that. Let's look at some images, man. Let's look at some images, man. Look at these images, bro. A heaviness of the heart is heavier than that. That man could fold, which is a heaviness, just with a heaviness with a heart. One situation, one thought could put this motherfucker all the way down. I'm telling you, that's the power, right? So when these attacks is coming, it's coming at your mind, it's coming at the perception, the way you think, because the weight is all, yes, but the heart, man, if it ain't right, you won't even get up. You could say, what's the worth living? We done heard of, you heard people who commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? What is that? All of the lifting, you see, so like I said, this don't mean nothing, but the mind does. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man, we need this word. You got to be around the word, because that's going to dictate if you're going to be up today or if you're going to be down. We know that the world, you got to know that all the things that the world is going to show you is to put your mind to stoop down, to say, to make you get low. That's understanding the condition of the battle, that we in. And that's just being realistic. Honestly, that's just really being realistic. You got to hear the words. You got to be around the counsel of the brothers. You got to tap in, because stress kills. So if stress is killing you, then what is it going to kill you with? It's going to kill you with what? By attacking your mind, thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So, it says, all right, heaviness in the heart maketh the mind to stoop down, all right? And more and more technology increase, they're going to take away, people not going to have purpose. So now they're going to be more in their mind. COVID made people be more in their mind. They wasn't able to travel or get around. They were more in their mind, all right? So yeah, let's go back to this image. Let's go back to this image. It says depression, anxiety, panic attacks. That's why it says in Sirach as well. Guard your mind. Let me get this actually in Proverbs. Proverbs 4:23. Keep thy heart. It says, let me start from 22. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So you hear people having more panic attacks. Margaret, she'll oh man, I got a panic attack. You have, oh man, anxiety. All of these things that are being brought on are attacks inside of the mind. Because what? Because of the word. Because the word, you're not receiving a righteous word. You're receiving the negative things of the world. You're looking at things from the lens of Esau. So he's showing you, oh wow, yeah, you see, this is not going on. Oh well, yeah, why is this? Why is this so-called black man? Why is he moving this way? When you understand the word, it will relieve you on why. You'll see, why Jake operate, how they operate. You're going to understand that more. Okay, men of the Lord are meant to do that. They meant to go. They're meant to be occupied in this. And then most of the women who get mad, oh man, this man cheat, you're going to understand. Oh, nah, men, that's what men are designed. They're designed that way. They're getting the depression alone. Now, what they're not designed to do is for a man to be popping another man, but they still receive depression over, what I'm saying? It's crazy, but anyway, it says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So yeah, out of your mind are the issues of life. That's how you gonna. That's actually how you gonna. Whether you're gonna be lively or whether you're gonna be low in the spirit. So that's why it says keep your mind with all diligence, because you got to protect it. You got to protect all the thoughts that's coming. You know what I mean? You got to know. You know what I'm saying? Your mood and what you receiving, how you perceiving things. How you feeling. You know, because that's going to be how you're going to go out about and speak to somebody, shed light, whether you're going to speak up and speak low. Most of the time, if a brother's speaking low is because, you know, and I mean, it could be differences where maybe we can't speak right now, but for the most part, you know, you down. You down. Right? Anyway, let me go back. Let me go back. It says, panic attack. It says heart. It says rise in blood pressure and risk of a heart attack. So Jake dies from a lot of heart attacks. That's a number one thing. And why? It's because stress. Stress can cause you a heart attack. So oh man, you ain't eating hey brother, you ain't eat the proper. Yeah, the herbs is in a food is important to eat. But this is the number one murderer. The number one serial killer is stress. Stress has been the number one serial killer, murdering across all day long. All right? A rise in blood pressure and a risk of a heart attack. Yeah, because you on edge. Nigga can have you on edge. One bill, a fucking ticket could send your ass into a whole fucking high blood pressure rate. And Esau know that. But see, when you understand always subject to payments and you understand, you know, you're not attached from this, really it's becoming more detached from this realm. When you become more, not that you're not going to take care of the bill, you know, these attacks is going to happen, but that's why scriptures also say money is a defense. That's why our brother will tell you how to maneuver in the world. Hey, take this and take that. Because if you get slapped with 3 bills, some brothers can't handle that. But you get a surprise attack, you might want to off yourself. You might want go into a fucking deep depression. You might, you know what I mean? You might say the wrong words. You might start praying to the Lord and he might not like that prayer. Because you might start blaming Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. When really, you had the opportunity to advance and take certain things so you could defend yourself, but you were stupid. You decided not to do it, being over-righteous, and now you depressed. Now your ass is sick. Now you can't take care of certain situations. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, that can affect, you know, your blood pressure. That's why I say money is a defense. That's part of it. Why? Because bills could stress your ass the fuck out. All right? If you attach to certain things, it can stress you out. You know? You can't, oh, damn, man, fucking flat tire. That'll stress you out. Damn, I got to pay that. That could stress you, you know? And now your mind is on something like that instead of your mind being cheerful and thankful for all the other things you got. This truth, the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, this wisdom. Now you put that all aside because this situation now is in front of you. Now, yeah, it's a situation. Cool. You handle it. You pay it, whatever the case, but you keep moving forward. But it's just going again on how those are things that could be stressed, that could kill and attack you and take you out the spirit. So, you know, you tell a brother, stay in the spirit. Staying in the spirit is actually fighting and alleviating yourself from them attacks. Whether you got to prepare and advance and take yourself, you know, take certain jobs or tests and study on those things to advance. You know what I mean? That way you can have a better situation. Then that's smart to do. All right. It says the next thing is your lungs. Strained breathing. Yeah, because you're stressed out. So any brothers with breathing issues is going to be because you're stressing yourself out. You got a lot on your mind. You know, you're not letting it out. That's why it's also good to, it says that, you know, it's good to confess. You know, get things off your chest. You know what I mean? Because, yo, man, it says impossible asthma attack. You could panic. Your breathing get off. So stress can motherfucking malfunction your whole body from the inside out. This is what stress doing. That nigga could get in you, fuck your brain up. Let me rewire these brains. What about the heart? Let me fucking confuse all the valves. The lungs, let me make it forget how to fucking be a lung. and that's what is going on. You notice when you stress, your breathing can change. You trying to open up the window, you like, oh shit, I can't even breathe. That's because you got stress. I can't breathe. You know, that's because you're stressing. I always say, yo, calm down. But what could calm them down? The words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Your stomach pain. With or even without ulcers. So you could have stress can cause you so bad, you could have a motherfucking stomach aches. And then it says bone, frequent, what's that? Frequent muscle and joint pains. Yeah. Your lower back fucking hurting. You know what I mean? Your joints start hurting you because you stressing. You constantly stooped over because you got heaviness in the mind. So it's playing on your fucking back and your body is all malfunction. So you gotta, and in order for you to get outside and exercise, your mind got to be clear because your mind ain't clear. You don't want to be around nobody. And that's how the domino effect is. And y'all know this is how it is because we all go through these situations. But this is the solution, is to hear these words, man. Hear these words, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right? So, all right. Let's get this. Proverbs 15:13. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. So your heart make your countenance be cheerful. You ever see brothers' countenance dark? Jake could be young, but they dark. They heart not cheerful. They not a happy kid. They not happy no more. This world eats away at your happiness. It'll eat away at it. And a video game can't do it. A new pair of Jordans can't do it. See, that's what we end up looking for, validating our happiness in, whether we got something new. And that's short-lived. Because them Jordans, now another one come out. So now you're not happy for those no more because a new pair came out and you ain't get those new pair. So now in order to keep your happiness going, you got to keep buying new pairs of sneakers. Then what happens when Jordans ain't it and niggas move on to some Prada or Gucci, more expensive shit. So now you got to keep up. You fucking running out of breath, catching anxiety, panic attack. You know what I mean? And then there's another younger person who come out looking better than you, and that's the real. But a merry heart, your mind have to be right within this life. Your mind have to be right within this life. It maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart, the spirit is broken. So your spirit can be broken all within how your mind is, what your mind is leaning on. Is your mind leaning on sorrow? Is it looking at all the negatives? Is are you locked in on those things? Because if you are, your spirit is now going to be broken. You see? That's why King David, you got prayers, right? You got prayers. You got prayers for that, man. This is Psalms chapter 51, verse 8. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. See? You could pray to the Lord, make me hear gladness, Father, please. So my bones, because that's when you're gonna rejoice. That's when your bones will be happy again. All right? And hearing his word, pretty much. Understanding it. Okay? All right? That's the point. That's the point I wanted to bring out, man. Now let me go back. Brothers. All right, verse 14. Proverbs 15:14. The heart of a man, of him that have understanding, seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. You got to stop feeding on, that's most people, the gossip. Oh, yo, you heard of Diddy. Oh, yo. So they eat that shit all the way up. All right. Now what? Your ass still got to deal with life, nigga. You got to get up and clock in. You got to deal with those kids. You got to deal with those bills. You got to get still caught up in this rat race. Nigga, you looking at Diddy, cause see that Jake feel better about themselves because they getting a laugh on or watching Netflix things about somebody else's life. But nigga, you still depressed. You need those things to be fed, you know what I mean, to keep up with yourself. But you are depressed. Like the priest said, you work 5 days a week. What do they call that? They call that the work week, right? Then on Saturday and Sunday, what do they call that? The weekend. Yeah, because you were weakened. You were weakened. And what do they do on the weekend? You drink to try to find some joy. You watch a bunch of Netflix documentaries to try to find some joy, but you don't find it because then what? Monday's sneaking up on your ass and you back to work and then you back mad. You know, you rushing, you in that traffic again. Yeah, don't even bring up that traffic. That traffic alone will fuck your head up. Traffic. Esau know that shit. That's why he ended that working from home shit, man. Bring your ass back to work. You bring him back to work. Now you go back to work. You got to deal with the traffic. You know, the traffic alone will have your ass spinning. All right. Then after you deal with the whole traffic, you get to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with the coworkers. You got to deal with this. You got to deal with that. X, Y, Z. So, verse 15, all the days that are afflicted are evil. All right. All the days that are afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart have a continual feast. So, if you got a merry heart, man, every day is a party, yaddy, yaddy. Because your heart is good. So everything is thankful for. Every day you wake up is lit. Every day is a lituation. It's a lituation. And people will see that. Damn, why this person so lit? Why they so happy? Some people will want to, be mad about that. Some, want you to feel their pain. Oh, this nigga, he ain't going through shit. He got to feel what I feel. Nigga, see, when you go through this, nigga. They want to put that nigga shit on you. You know what I mean? Because you ain't going through it. Not to say that ain't happened, but your mind is moving different. Like Will Smith said in Emancipation, they was all going through it. But it was slaves that was going through it differently. He said, I don't know why God do what he do. That's what he told him. You're like, why are you so fucking happy? That book, get that book away from me. You talk about the Bible. You're like, man, I don't know why the Lord do what he do, man, but shit. You know what I mean? You ain't finna put that on me. I'm not finna be like that. Do the spirit power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. No. You take that dumbass spirit and see how far that get. And that's why niggas died right then. And you had men that maneuvered and got away. These niggas died because their mind was already fucking dead. That's why Ezekiel said the valley of dry bones. But look, this is what it's doing. Look at this, bone cancer. So the more you do that, the more you get cancer. You'll get cancer from within. This is a bone cancer. See? This is what stress is doing to your body. You wonder why. Damn, what could you eat that could get to your bone? Well, stress. You taking on stress within your body, that shit will do this shit to you and your insides, bro. That's how scary this shit is, man. See, they don't go into that. Doctor ain't gonna tell you about all of this stuff. This is a spiritual thing right here. You heard? This is let me jump down to did I read that? Yep, I read that. All right, let's get Sirach. And let's go into some examples after on what'll make men go through what they go through. You know what? Let me do this. Let's get this. This is Sirach, the book of Sirach, chapter 30, verse 21. Give not thou over thy mind to heaviness. That's a commandment. Stop giving over your mind to heaviness. What is heaviness? A bad situation, a fuck up. Oh man, I gotta tell brother. When you give over your mind, don't do it. Don't do it. Stop giving over your mind to heaviness, right? And afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Stop giving over your mind to heaviness, the ways of Esau. Oh, my credit score. Oh, this, oh, that. So you start to give your mind over to heaviness. You start to look down on yourself. You start to, oh, F my life. You know what I mean? You start to really not even see the value in life. Or this truth. Scriptures say many kings have sought to look into the things that we know. Are you kidding me? Queen Sheba went over to Solomon, based upon not the wisdom he had. We inherited that. We are Israelites. You inherit the capability of understanding this truth. That alone sets you on a throne, bro. See, we playing that Esau's round, so that's the shit you giving over your mind, the heaviness, the job. What scripture do you know that a man's wisdom is based upon a job title he fucking got? Never. We wasn't even supposed to be even working. Sirach 30 and 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Verse 22. The gladness of thy heart is the life. Your life is based upon your meter, all right, on your heart. So if there was a meter you could check every day, you would be like, okay, I'm at this level, cool. So now it's going to dictate how your life going to be. But if that meter get low, that's also going to dictate how your life going to be. That's why the Lord said the light of thy body is thy eye. You know, if it's full of light, that's cool. But he said, if it's dark, man, how great is that darkness? Because that's what you're going to start visually kicking off. You're going to look every situation bad. If you got the light, you can look at every situation good. Yahweh Shah turned sinners into righteous individuals. That's because he's looking and finding the good in things. You know, he pushing a righteous spirit, you know. And those who couldn't be converted, they couldn't be converted. The Most High said, hey, just block them. They couldn't see the light. That's why it says, lest his light shine upon us. You know, the Most High didn't let the light shine upon them. But that don't mean you don't give off the light. You just got to be positive. KP serves a lot of them. And we're not even mad. We're happy. We're more joyful and more happy. We're still going to go on the highways and byways. Hey, we're more happy at the end of the day. We said that. The truth got out. Either way, how y'all did it, the truth got out. The truth got spread. And at the end of the day, this the Hebrew Israelites and the doctrine, all right, is being spread out. However people look at it and perceive it and want to interpret it, you know, amongst their own minds, hey, man, we can't go in their minds and force them. But if somebody sincerely go into it and look, they're going to say, wow, these brothers is going to the scriptures and they saying exactly what's in the scriptures. Whether it sounds user-friendly or not, this is what the Bible says. You know? Verse 22, the gladness of the heart is the life of a man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So your joyfulness is what prolongs your days. If you are mad and depressed every day, you're going to have a short life. Granted, this is a wicked world, you know, based upon not following the Lord's statutes, commandments. But guess what? Within this wicked world, you're meant to what? Shed your light. So you're meant to be the one that be the change that people going to see. You're meant to bring forth the truth for Yahweh Shah. There's still brothers and sisters that's going to gravitate to this truth. Stop. Look, that's why the angel told Esdras, stop